Okay, guys, hopefully you can hear me good. Hopefully I got things set up. What is happening, YouTube world? What's happening, everybody? A lot of reports have come out recently. A lot of people kind of bashing, saying, "Hey, Apple's not doing great," but in general, the whole tech industry sells are now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how it interacts and how everything is playing off of each other, um, and everything. What's up, Oscar? The tech industry, unexpected change that could impact you. This could impact, everybody as far as, whatever you're interested in the tech industry. We'll see how that rolls out. See if we get a few more people in here. I was having a little glitch at the beginning getting the stream rolling. Yeah, a few more people coming. Is a VPN still suggested? I've never really suggested a VPN. There are reasons to use a VPN, legitimate reasons. If you're looking at trying to protect yourself online, a VPN, in my opinion, isn't really going to protect you against, hacking or viruses or anything. It just kind of, keeps people from knowing where you're going or what you're doing and etc. I look at a VPN more of this for this reason. For instance, if you're traveling, you're in a country where they block a lot of stuff from the United States, like China or Russia or wherever you might be going, then a VPN is good to get around geo blocking. Geo blocking is one of the main key reasons why I think a VPN is useful. I don't use a VPN regularly at all. I mean, really, for much of any reason. Mainly because it usually slows down the internet connection. Let me see. So hopefully my streams, I'm trying some different settings in my software, so hopefully the stream's coming across. I'm just doing some experimenting, but I'm going to talk about this. I got a bunch of information to go over, how it impacts the cells of all kinds of different electronics and what I think is going on with different things. We're also going to talk about the whole Amazon Fire TV thing here in a few minutes. We'll talk about a lot of YouTubers spreading some uh, fear, spreading some fear that you're going to be that your side loading capabilities will get taken away. And I mean, of course, anything's possible. It's highly unlikely, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later in this show as well. We're going to talk about how, you know, prices are going to go down on computer parts because obviously there's a sharp lowering in people buying things. So, computer parts are definitely going down. Let's go to settings here. I'm getting a warning because of my experimentation, and I don't think I can change it. Can I? Oh yeah, I can. Let's change this to, let's apply that. Let's see if that works any better. See if I stop getting an error message. Lower it down a little bit. Try to find my sweet spot on my bit rate. Um, Testing out my connection. Have you heard about the Restrict Act they are trying to pass? Restrict Act. I mean, I've heard about a few things. I probably know what you're talking about, but you can go ahead and elaborate a little more in the chat, Bama, for people who don't know what that act is. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to speak on it and say the wrong thing. If I don't know about something, I'm going to be honest about it. But let's see. Yeah, the whole TikTok ban thing and why it could lead to a lot more censorship. That's what I thought. And that would make it more people maybe would want a VPN more because it'll unrestrict access to sites and places. That's one of the reasons, like I said, getting around geo blocking. And when I say that, the U.S. does have some geo blocking. They're going, with this act, they'll probably enact more blocking to keep you from getting to certain areas of the internet. There's already blocking. Um, Other countries can block uh, the United States too. So if you try to access something on another country's site, sometimes it'll come up and say, hey, this is only available to people in this region or in this country. So geo blocking is a big deal, and a VPN can definitely get around that. Even though it slows your internet connection down, having access to something instead of not having access to it is, definitely better. But that depends on your needs as far as the internet goes and what you're seeing and where you're going and what you're watching or what websites you might be going to when it comes to that type of thing. But we got a lot to talk about when it comes to this news that's going on right now. Um, so the let's go ahead and get into some of this here. There we go. So what we got is despite declines in revenue to remain above 2019 totals throughout the forecasted period, according to MPT, U.S. consumer technology sales are expected to decline in the near term, returning to growth in 2025. Um, so that means that 2023, 2024, with what we've got going on, there's kind of a lot of unknowns. And the problem is what they're not getting into is most of us are still making the same amount of money that we were, right? But inflation has happened. Things have gone up for everything. Your food, your electric bill, your gas bill. We're also talking about most of us, our property taxes have gone up, causing our mortgages to be more expensive. So all of this is playing into people having less money per month because there's people aren't making more money. That hasn't, the inflation is causing a lot of issues. So with the interest rates going up, that's causing issues with the property taxes as well as it's going to have a sharp decline in the real estate market. But in general, when people have less money, they're going to spend less money on things. And what are they going to spend less money on? They're going to spend less money on things they don't need, like electronics. They're going to be buying food instead of buying that new computer. They're going to try to fix their old one and, put up with it for a while without using or buying a new one. So that's where we're at right now. That's why there's been this sharp decline in new computer buying, even though the prices aren't completely awful and there's a lot of new technology coming out that's really great. We're having a sharp decline in the buying of new equipment because of that. That's going to play a big part in some of the stuff I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes, because it does create an opportunity for those of us who maybe have some money where you actually are able to get maybe a better deal on that gaming PC, because with the way the market is, there's actually going to be an opportunity for you to jump into something that's going to be pretty cool if you're in the position to want to do that. I myself have just recently bought a couple of new items, and I bought a laptop, and I got that micro PC, but I didn't buy brand new. I bought fairly new refurbished equipment that came with warranties. So, but the prices were definitely really, really good on that stuff that I bought, and I'll be doing more videos on that. I'm going to do a video on the laptop I purchased. It's a very nice Dell for a great deal. You will be amazed at what kind of prices there are out there if you know what to look for. So on the flip side of that, the PC sales head south as users look for reasons to buy. This is what I was talking about. People just don't have a good reason to buy a PC, especially when, I mean, if you have a PC, let's say you got your computer 3, 4, 5 years ago, your computer is probably still pretty decent. I mean, if you got a computer from 2017, 2018, I mean, that's going to be a 6th gen, 7th gen Intel, or an early AMD Ryzen machine or a variety of other things out there. So, that's definitely something to think about. Um, so when it comes to electronics, people are, weighing that decision. Do I really need this? I would like it, but do I need it? Needs and wants come into play. You have to understand that if you know, uh, you need to eat, you need food, you need electricity, you need gas and heat for your house. You don't necessarily need that new computer or need that new TV or need that new whatever it might be electronic device that you want, but maybe it just doesn't fit into the budget. And so that's why sales are going down. But like I said, that's going to create a surplus. That's going to create prices to drop because supply and demand. If there's an increased supply, there's going to be, there and not as much demand because people aren't able to buy them. Then you're going to have an area where you might be able to get some really good deals on some things. Asian markets are mixed as traders await key inflation report. So in the Asian markets, we already know that there's some major things going on between the United States and China. There's tensions there. There's issues with Taiwan and the processor manufacturers. That's all playing a part in what's happening as well. There could be issues depending on what happens where there's a decrease in supply, and then that could increase prices on electronics, like what happened with the video cards and video game consoles during COVID. So you have to keep your eyes open to what what's happening in the market, and hopefully you can take advantage of some of those things. If you see a dip and a lowering in cost of things, maybe pick yourself up, what you need so that you can try to save some money before things go back up in price, because the market does fluctuate up and down. Analysts say Mac sales are down. Mac sales are down from 40% from post-pandemic PC slump continues. So Mac prices are down, PC prices are down. There's another reason for this that's not just supply and demand or people not having enough money. There's actually a very good technical reason why some sales and things are down when it comes to these devices. For one thing, Apple has their own processors in their Power Macs, their MacBook Pros, their MacBook Pros and their MacBooks and etc. have their own processors, which are not of the same architecture that the old units used to be. This creates a software compatibility issue, which there has been some ongoing issues that have been happening, and there's been some things that have been being done to help the compatibility of that. On the other flip side, with Windows-based PCs, Microsoft has Windows 11 out. They've also been producing ARM-based versions of Windows 11. They're trying to make Windows 11 compatible, with Android-based applications as well as Windows-based applications. This is and because they rapidly changed the operating system so much, that's also caused some people maybe not to want to jump on board to buying a new PC right away. So both things are happening on the Mac side and the Windows side that are major changes in those particular types of machines. What we have happening right now on the Windows side, though, is I think in the long run will be a very good thing. On the Apple side, it's hard to say because Apple likes to control everything. So they want to make their own processors now. They don't give you any upgradability. They build in the hard drive, the RAM, everything. You're pretty stuck with whatever you get. I'm not a fan of Apple. I'm going to be straightforward about that. Not an Apple guy, but for those that do use Apple, that like Apple, good for you. If you like it, that's fine with me. It's just not my cup of tea. I prefer a Windows platform, even though, believe me, there's plenty of problems on that end too. There's problems all over the place when it comes to these machines right now. Things aren't quite as solid and as reliable software-wise as they used to be in the past because we're going through some major changes. Some of the other changes too is ARM wasn't bought by NVIDIA. ARM's got monetary problems. ARM is trying to increase the cost that they're charging these companies to make the processors so that these companies like Apple and other companies can put processors into their phones and into a variety of other devices. Now, this is going to sharply increase the cost of a lot of these devices. So right now might not be, I mean, right now, considering the way the tech market is, might be a good time to actually pick up a device if you want a MacBook Pro or something like that. Costs could be going up, or if you want that new cell phone, maybe, because I think costs could be going up. But if you're like me, you tend to stay on a mid-range phone. You don't buy a super high-end phone. I don't go with the flagship phones at all. I'm not going to go spend $1,000 on a phone. I spend a few hundred on a phone. That's it, and I'm done there. So I keep myself pretty budgeted when it comes to that. So those are all things to realize what's going on there too. So this article here also says gamers are set to benefit from PC sales that are in decline. So though this sharp decline in PC sales is bad for manufacturers, this seems like the perfect opportunity for gamers and other buyers when there's a lack of sales combined with an overstock of inventory, like I was talking about earlier. Manufacturers would need to discount their products to boost sales. So you're going to probably, this holiday season is probably going to be really, really, really good. Let's see, Oscar said, do you think NVIDIA will release a new Shield soon? I have no clue. I have not heard anything about a new Tegra processor myself, or anything like that. So they would need to come out with a new processor in order to make that happen, for the NVIDIA Shield. And since the NVIDIA Shield still sits atop all of the streaming devices out there, I doubt it. I still think it's still sitting right up there. Devices are barely starting to compete with it. I would think, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see one. I just don't think we're going to see one until possibly another year from now. I was hoping that they would come out with a new version of the Shield. I just don't think it's going to happen. And NVIDIA is kind of a crap company. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I've got NVIDIA video cards in my computers. Don't get me wrong, I use their stuff. But as a company, as a whole, there's a reason why companies fled NVIDIA. And, well, for instance, like EVGA, that was like the top video game card manufacturer, which I have an EVGA video card. That particular video card, that video card company decided to stop making video cards just because it was a toxic environment to deal with NVIDIA. And this has been said before. NVIDIA not only license out these other companies to make video cards, but then they make video cards themselves and directly compete with the companies that they're licensing to make video cards. It's kind of a shady practice. I don't really think it should be allowed. If they're going to license companies to make video cards, they shouldn't be making video cards themselves. You know, that's kind of a weird issue I have with NVIDIA. That being said, NVIDIA also does a lot of other shady things. Even though people don't have more money, they continually raise their price on the new video cards. Instead of bringing out a new version that's at roughly the same price or maybe just a little higher, they raise it quite a bit. And that is not good business, because now you still got the old versions of the cards, which it's a good thing in one point, because if you have one of these cards, it's not getting devalued greatly compared to what it would be if like new cards hit the market and these new cards were like roughly at the same cost of what the old cards were. Nobody would buy the old cards. The old cards would drop in price. That's the way it used to be, but that's not the way it is now. NVIDIA is not following that rule. AMD bringing some really good video cards onto the market too, so there's competition going on in the video card market. And in the entry level market, Intel is coming out with their Arc GPU video cards, and that's looking like a viable option for some people in the entry level market range for video cards as well. So NVIDIA, I'm not going to be going with an NVIDIA Shield unless they come out with a new one. I don't have an NVIDIA Shield. I might think about it if they did put out a new one, because if they put out a new one, you should get double the performance from the old one, considering how many years it's been since that thing came out. We'll have to see. They need a new Tegra processor, mainly because, I mean, let's just talk about the Nintendo Switch for one thing. The Nintendo Switch is a 720p gaming device that it's old and archaic technology, in my opinion. That thing needs an overhaul, but it won't get an overhaul unless it has hardware to put in it. So it would have to either, you know, partner with somebody else for a processor, or it would have to try to, you know, put some pressure. Nintendo would need to put some pressure on Nvidia, maybe to put a new, you know, maybe that's the key right there. Maybe they come out with the new processor in a new Nintendo Switch first, and then they release a new Nvidia Shield. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. We'll just have to wait and see. Um, they're talking about giving you up to 20 years in prison for using a VPN. Bama fan said, "Yeah, the that's highly unlikely." um, I would doubt that. And I mean, you know, there's a variety of options when it comes to DNS options. There's options for you when it comes to security. If you want to be safe on getting your content as well. We all know about debrid services. If you don't, look that up. I can't really go into detail on YouTube about what those are, but they're definitely a great option for you to be able to get things. And you can always you know look up my Telegram group, Republic of Streamers, and go there, and you can find out some more information there on that. Let's go ahead and talk more about Amazon. So Amazon, there was a lot of news about them that they did some things. They have blocked some third-party apps from being installed, and then that they retracted that. I guess there was still some issues on the Echo Show. I don't know because I don't have one of those. Maybe somebody who has one can elaborate more on that particular issue or area. I've always been of the opinion that you're better off with something more standard Android, whether it's Android tvOS or whether it's a standard Android box, instead of running a Amazon device. I bought second gen Fire TV cubes and I thought they were terrific, and they are a very great device for the money. When I bought the second gen cubes on sale at around the $60-ish area, you still can't get a 922 chip or or that kind of performance box for that price. So it was a great deal. That's why I bought them. Got one for my mom, got one for my bedroom. That being said, I've been running them for a couple of years now. Probably will transition away from them. I don't see myself wanting to go to the third gen cube. If you don't know my opinions on that, I did do a live show where I talked about that particular device and why I don't think it's great. Basically, a lot of old technology in that device, just not really a great device. They didn't do the proper upgrades that should have been done on that particular device. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother show, because I already did a show on that. That being said, Amazon has taken some heat, and so the it's side loading blocked. Amazon blocks side loadings. All of these warnings, right? So a bunch of YouTubers did videos on that, and I just wanted to touch on my opinion on it. Do I think Amazon's going to block side loading? I think it was an accident, and if you understand how it works, there is a feature that Amazon turns on for a device to be in beta, because they don't want anything to get leaked. And when the device is in beta, they only want official apps to run on it as well. So that particular feature got turned on some devices, and that's what caused the problem with being able to sideload on those devices. What that does do though is it does show us that Amazon has the ability, if they really want to make their device like a Roku, they can. And you know, they got a big customer base, right? So um, I don't know. I would jump ship and I would get rid of my cube right away if they did get rid of the side loading ability. This is part of the reason why I don't understand why people really jump on the Apple TV bandwagon. I mean, there's so many things. That could be a whole nother video. There's like so many points to go over why the Apple TV is a bad device for uh, everybody because of such limited options. Why do they give you so much storage if you're so limited on the options? I'm just not sure about that. I mean, there's always workarounds and ways about it. It's limited though, as far as what you can install and what you can put on it compared to when you compare it to like an Android device that's on an open system that has a lot of different app stores available to you. Um, the going over all of that. Hopefully that was pretty clear. And make no mistake, I've the only device I've ever really told people that was good to go grab was the Fire TV Cube when it was on sale. The third gen cube is not a good deal. The second gen cube was good. The first gen cube was not good. The first gen cube I bought one, they weren't very fast. They were running a 905 processor, just not a lot of performance there. The second gen cube, 922, nice performance out of it. It runs very fast, very snappy. Still is a great device right now. If you have a second gen cube, it runs fabulous. So that being said, if you want to see more information on my micro PC that I did on a previous live video not that long ago, where I'm going to be pushing out some videos. I'm going to show you step by step how to make the USB drive a USB disk with the image that you need for Android TV OS and to how to install Android TV OS on there. And the images will be available from me, so you'll be able to download them and easily. I'll have links for that, so everything will be step by step. From the start to the finish, you'll be able to see exactly how to do everything, and I'll tell you how to install a variety of other things as well, like standard Android, not just Android TV OS. We'll install standard Android as well on another video. A lot more videos coming. I'll probably do some videos on how to set up, set yourself up a NAS that, is more secure, that runs on Windows instead of running a, NAS unit that runs Synology or runs with Simba and runs, other things that, if you look up the news and information, those things, the Western Digital ones and stuff, there's a lot of hacks that happen to those devices. Doesn't mean that a Windows one can't get hacked, but you can set it up a little more secure so that when you go to when you go to access the content off the device, it's not as wide open. Are there any questions anybody has about what we were talking about that I can try to elaborate on? I just wanted to go on here, do a little test, do a nice little short show, see how things run. Hopefully the stream is done well. It's still saying my bit rate's too high, so I guess I can adjust that here real quick and see. Go back in here and adjust the bit rate. I'm experimenting on bit rates, trying to see what my limit is with my internet connection. Let's see. Will Amazon ever block third-party apps like Kodi? Heard they are blocking launchers. Yeah, they definitely don't don't want you running any launchers. I run the standard Amazon launcher. That's one of the big reasons why I wouldn't mind switching is that launcher isn't the best in the world, let's be honest about it. It's not horrible. I'm able to use it. I'm used to it, but yeah, there are a lot of options out there. And Yeah, so everybody stay safe. If you want to run a VPN to try to stay safe, just be aware of what's going on with the laws. Just be careful. The If you want to run, if you want to be um, safe, use some private servers to get your content. Don't just go directly to sites, websites, and download content, because your internet provider will definitely know what you're doing if you do that without a VPN, but they will definitely not know what you're doing if you're downloading through a private server, like multiple different debrid options that are out there. So, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on that, what you should and should not do. Stay away from torrents, except for doing cache torrents from the private servers. Very important to do, because you'll download the stuff much quicker and you will be protected from your internet provider seeing what you're doing as well. So hopefully, hopefully that helps you. And I'm still getting a bitrate issue. I'm going to try to turn it down again. Let's try this. Let's see if I still get an error message that's higher than the recommended bitrate. Not sure. I hope everybody's having a great night. I hope you had a good Easter. Hope you are having a great time. Let's try to keep things free, everybody. Stay educated about everything that's happening and going on. And, never forget, come around here and you're going to probably find out some stuff once in a while that can help you. Yeah, I'll do that, Bama fan. Oh, I had to completely redo my Plex. So, because I bought a new server and I redid everything. So, if I had you in there before, that's probably why you're not in there now. Why don't you shoot me a D? Are you on Telegram? If you are, shoot me a DM there, with your email, and then I'll go ahead and send you an invite. Yeah, things got kind of jumbled up on my Plex. I had to take it down for a while because of a hacking attempt that happened. So just to make sure I protected my data, and then I have since beefed up my security, and it was my own fault because I knew I was doing wrong what I did. So yeah, Oscar, the Telegram. Hold on, I will get that for you right now. Give me just a minute and I will throw that in here. Let me get... Yeah, in my Telegram, you'll also be able to get my information to my server so that you can access... There's the Telegram there. Yeah, you'll get information to my server. You'll be able to access all kinds of cool stuff. That information will be in the Telegram group, the web server's address. I'm not going to put it publicly out here on YouTube like that. So basically because I don't want to have any problems with YouTube's guidelines or their anything they've got going on as far as that goes. Hopefully that's good information for you guys all to know about. I got some really cool stuff back here for future videos. I had talked a long time ago, that big old tall white tower, that is my Ultimate XP computer. I did post some pictures of that in the Telegram group, I think yesterday, or on Easter, I can't remember, but I think it was yesterday. And that machine, I am working on finishing it up. That is absolutely all era correct, except for the hard drive. The hard drive is a solid state hard drive in that, so it is era correct as far as everything goes. There is nothing in that. When I say it's an Ultimate XP, it's the ultimate of everything that was out that was compatible with XP at that time. A lot of stuff in that isn't compatible with anything else. The sound card isn't compatible anything above XP, and it's got a front panel with MIDI and everything. It's a Creative Labs Audigy. The video card is compatible with newer machines, but it was the best you could get at that time. So that particular video card is a Quadro card in there. It's got 10,000 RPM SCSI hard drives. It does have an SSD for the boot drive, and it's got absolutely like four DVD burners. So it can actually do DVD duplication as well. That particular machine has the motherboard. It'll be really cool. You guys will enjoy when I go over it. When I do go over it, because I did buy the motherboard brand new for that machine. It is an older Intel Pentium dual core, right? But if you can see this, I want you to notice this had a gigabit Ethernet and Wi-Fi TV all back during Windows XP days. This is phenomenal. This was the best you could get for Windows XP, period. I mean, I am deadly serious. I did a lot of research when I built this particular computer, and yeah, I mean, it was just it was crazy when I'm doing all the research. Watch, pause, rewind, and record TV. It says watch, pause, rewind, and record TV. That is and hey, and this was back for Windows XP days. Windows XP days, right? Crazy stuff. I will be doing detailed videos on that computer, just for you guys to see it, to see what was available back in those days. And it's phenomenal because I've got a printer that prints onto printable DVDs for that machine. That machine is going to be strictly set up for all of those things. That printer only works on Windows XP. I don't think there was drivers for Windows 7 for that printer either. It's an old Epson, and it's got a scanner. So there'll be a lot of features. Like I said, it had gigabit Ethernet. How in the heck you got gigabit Ethernet on an XP machine from back then? I mean, absolutely crazy the specs that were on this thing. It does boot up and work really nice. Boots up a little slow because obviously it's got a lot of things that have to start up with it. Okay, yeah, I'll shoot you an invite here in just a few minutes, Bama, after I shut down the show. So hope you guys all having a good one. I'll be doing some more informative tutorial videos and some reviews coming up for you on a lot of different things like that custom PC and how to load Android TV OS and some detailed information on the micro PC, so you can definitely know exactly how that works and runs. If you want to try to set one of those up for yourself, step-by-step information all the way from start to finish so that you can actually do it and get it working without any glitches or problems or issues. So yeah, that being said, you all have a very nice evening, and I will see you in the next video. This Mr. On Demand, man with the master plan, like always. I'll see you again.